So, got all that updated. And we're going to head right into the next game. This one is in fact on Polar Night between two Gold League players. And as that'll load quickly, I'll get the scene switched over and head right into it for you. So, spawning in the lower location here on Polar Night, we have, for StratK Gaming as our purple Zerg, Anoteros. Spawning in the north location for eSports is our teal Protoss player, RhiNo, who apparently doesn't want to be told what to do. So we got that first Overlord headed across, and early probe moving down to make that first pylon on the low ground. Overlord about halfway across the map, and a Forge coming down. So Forge first out of our Protoss player, and that probe is heading across after dropping the Forge. We might see a bit of a cannon rush go on. He at least has the option. He does see two drones coming down. He chooses the pylon block. His drones start to work on that pylon as he heads into the main base. And sees that there's no gas yet, mostly. So he drops another pylon, but one of those drones went over to actually take the third rather than the natural at first. The probe actually starts working on this drone, but canceling the pylon. Doing very good at being annoying while that Nexus comes up at home. Then you start to work on the third pylon set down to block this location, which does get cancelled. As this probe and this drone are fighting in the middle of the map. Looks like those Lings are going to finally take down this truly annoying probe, though. Or at least push it home. As Anoteros is now taking a pretty early third base after going hatch first. After going pool first, I mean. He's finally taken his gas, just finished up. Looks like this probe may in fact make it home. Yep, probe just barely makes it home with its life as the Nexus finishes up for RhiNo. In the meantime, we see a gateway just finishing up for RhiNo. Zealot immediately being pushed through it as a cybernetics core is also added on. Speed now on the way for Anoteros. First queen being over at the third, and a second queen in production. but mostly queens and drones and queens for our Zerg player. Whereas our Protoss player now has a Stalker on the way and Warp Gate tech. And +1 weapon attack. And a Stargate now on the way. So, Roach Warren now down for our Zerg player, as well as an Evo Chamber. And Lair, about 3/4 of the way done. In the meantime, you see this Overlord being pushed away by the Stalker. This Overlord is out scouting for proxies or any other weird shenanigans, as in this one. Between those and Zerglings on the watchtowers, pretty good map vision for Anoteros at this point. Probe heading over here to see if there's anything interesting going on. Perhaps ready to start a third pretty soon for RhiNo. He does have the minerals for it. In the meantime, Warp Gate's just about to finish up, and this Overlord heads in trying to get a scout off, but runs into 2 Stalkers and something more than enough to take down the Overlord quick. In the meantime, Warp Gate is now complete, so we see lots more gateways and 1 Void Ray about to finish for RhiNo. Back on the other side of the map, we see a Hydralisk down, about halfway done. Other than that, fuelings and otherwise, droning up. +1 missile attack just about done for our Zerg player, and +1 armor about halfway done for our Protoss player. And a number of speedlings running around. They did a little poking in the front and discovered, yes, it is actually defended. So they find this pylon that was previously made by that probe that we were looking at earlier. And another one, so 2 free pylons. And it looks like the probe's going to get caught too. Yep. Free probe. As Anoteros continues to have his very good map vision, he has taken his 2 Zerglings off the watchtowers. That will be a mistake. But he has good Overlord spread. And the first few Roaches are heading out across. The Roaches do have speed. Hydras are now being added into the mix, +1 armor on the way. Whereas our Protoss player is now working on +2 weapons. So, +2 missile attacks also on the way for a Zerg player. Must have added in a 2nd Evo chamber. Hydra speed about to finish up. Roaches and Wings running under the mothership core. If we get a few Stalkers nearly for free, it's not a very good chance. Mothership core drops a time warp to hold this army back. That's a pretty big army. We do get one of the gateways at the front before dropping back without losing much except for a few things. Hydras are now joining in the fun. This looks like a pretty good army for Anoteros, and RhiNo mostly has a lot of money and no really good way to spend it. a lot of Void Rays. That Archive is doing real work. As for the moment, Anoteros retreats with that army, gathering it in a minute, or at least what's left of it. I'm not sure that's enough Hydras to deal with that number of Void Rays. That was a lot of Void Rays. He does just have the one star to get. He's been continually pumping them out. Anyway, Anoteros thinks he's got enough, so he's going to head right in there. Most of the Lings fall almost immediately to the arrayed forces. Time warps and force fields not helping, and Anoteros pulls back once more. But mostly he lost Lings, so he's not really losing that much in these engagements. Sorry about that random alarm I have. Anyway. Looks like a few Mutalisks being added on for a Zerg player. Mutalisks being quite good against Void Rays. Other than that, we see more High Templar. Blink about halfway done for RhiNo back home. And a little bit of everything coming down for Anoteros. Getting down that infestation pit, probably just for the 3 upgrades. RhiNo moving out across the map. Interesting. 2 forges now just having been finished for RhiNo. Let's just be using them as a wall or something. 3 forges. At this point in the game. So we have an engagement going on down here. Now the problem that Anoteros has is he has a number of these Hydras right at the front at first. But all the Zealots get taken down, and then after that, it's looking pretty good. Now the Zealots get taken down as they do start to connect with the Hydras. It looks like RhiNo actually has too much for Anoteros at this point. It is quite the force he's got left, and Anoteros doesn't seem to have an answer for it. Roaches streaming in from all directions, but penny packets of roaches aren't going to do very well, especially when one of the things they're facing is Void Rays. The Queens are doing a number on these Void Rays, though. 2 of the Void Rays down already, a 3rd one almost dead. Queen's pretty good against Void Rays. All the roaches are down, but the Queens just continue to transfuse each other out. One went down with a full energy Queen. Infestor comes in, but doesn't really do anything. Only had the energy for 2 infested Terrans, and the eggs were down before they hatched. But looks like our Protoss player is indeed moving back, having lost all of his Void Rays and down to just a few Stalkers, and the continued reinforcements of Anoteros with his massive economy. In fact, he has a 17 drone lead at this point. So all that really came down to superior economy in the end. Back home, all we see on the way is, well, we see a number of Zealots now being warped in, as well as 1 more Void Ray. Brings our Void Ray total back up to 3. See a ton of roaches, a few lings, and a few infestors moving across the map. confirming that there is no third in the back or fourth in the back, whichever excuse me, it would be. And they decide to actually do something. I love it whenever I see it, using these rocks as the attack vector and attacking from the back of the base. Now the problem is they've got no answer to Void Ray, but there are a lot of roaches, and with 2-2 upgrades, the roaches are, you know, they'll stand a pretty long time even against Void Rays. Void Rays using their overcharge and roasting roach after roach, though, with this immortal, these roaches are not going to kill. They're not going to get anything done at all. In the meantime, +2 armor and +1 shields on the way for our Protoss player. Back home, our Zerg player is continuing to add various types of forces. Lots of Lings coming out right now. There's a few Hydras and a few Mutas. It's kind of a very mixed force from a Zerg player. A little bit of everything. These Mutas are coming in and not sure they got all that much done. Stalkers pushed them away pretty quick. We do see Phoenix now on the way for RhiNo in response to all the mutas he's seeing. So Anoteros getting together a pretty decent army in the middle of the map. Kind of a bit of a mission. A little bit of everything. Kind of like a Protoss Death Ball. Coming in and finding a ton of stalkers surrounding this one immortal. But there may just be too much Zerg here. Immortal's down. No Void Rays over here to speak of, and a ton of roaches. Yep, GG. Anoteros takes it for StratK, bringing our total to officially 6-1 in favor of StratK.